Okay. Very good morning, children. You have seen that how this pollution is, especially from the industry. What are the reasons for that? And it is you cannot call it as a new menace. It was existing before. Now it is increasing like anything. Okay. So how to control this industrial pollution? Most of the countries in the world, especially the Western countries, they give lot of emphasis for controlling the pollution. They spend a lot of money for controlling the pollution. India or any developing country, we are ignoring it because we cannot spend that much money on pollution. And pollution is having its own effect. That also you are very well aware. Okay, so how to control? First one is constitutional amendment. Because since this pollution, industrial pollution is a serious issue, we have to see that some action is taken against the people or the industries which are creating pollution. So first and foremost, India being the member of WTO as well as various international bodies, in order to control the industrial pollution, you have to change your constitution. So India's environmental protection policies are based on the views expressed in United Nations Conference on Human Environment held at Stockholm in 1972. You know that Stockholm, it's a place in Europe. So 1972 में उधर जो कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ था उधर कंट्रीज ने डिसाइड कर दिया हमने हाउ टू कंट्रोल द इंडस्ट्रियल पोल्यूशन. ओके, इन 1976 ये देखो ये सब ऑब्जेक्टिव में आएगा. In 1976 India became first country to do an amendment in the constitution, allowing the government to protect and improve the environment for safeguarding. Look here, why do we require environmental protection? This is very important. Protecting public health, forest and wildlife. This sentence is very, very important. You can see a lot of objective questions over here. First question is, which year India did the constitutional amendment? India did the constitutional amendment in the year 1976. That's point number one. Why do and India became the first country in the world? What is the reason? Because government has come in the picture. Government did not allow the industry to manage by themselves. Government has come in the picture and they realized or they have taken the responsibility on themselves. What is the responsibility? To protect the environment. Look here. The question arises is, why the environment has to be protected? Because it will affect the public health, it will affect the forest, it will affect the wildlife. आपको मालूम है ह्यूमन बीइंग्स को इफेक्ट होगा, ह्यूमन बीइंग सिक होगा, फिर फॉरेस्ट में ट्रीज वगैरह उसको सब कट करने पर उसका एनवायरमेंटल के ऊपर बहुत इफेक्ट होगा. देन वाइल्ड लाइफ, there are so many animals and rare species in the forest, even they have to be protected. So children, try to remember this sentence very carefully. 1976 India became first country to pass an amendment in the Indian Constitution. Okay, whereby who is responsible? Government. They did not give to any private individual. They themselves have taken the responsibility to protect the environment because it has to protect the public health, forest and wildlife. 42nd Amendment of Indian Constitution, that government and citizen government and citizen are responsible for protecting the environment. So 42nd Amendment mein government made it very clear, government can protect the environment, no doubt at all, But even citizen got equal responsibility to protect the environment. ये देखो, government and citizen. Because सब कुछ government करेगा, लेकिन लोग इंडस्ट्री पोल्यूशन क्रिएट करेगा, ट्रीज कट करेगा, ऐसा करने पर एक कंट्री कैन नॉट सर्वाइव. सो अल्टीमेटली द क्वेश्चन arises, who has to protect the environment? Ultimately in India, who has to protect the environment, children? Environment has to be protected by government as well as citizens. Okay, government as well as citizens. Before I am forgetting, I am telling you, today you will get the list of the students for computers as well as export. Please remember, any list which will be put either by myself or by Sagar sir will be valid, because other teachers, other staff, nobody is having the access. That is the reason. I do not know from where you get it, or Sagar might have put it in the earlier list. Today around 12 o'clock, I will put the list of the students who have taken computers as well as export. Then you can check your name. Okay, children? Okay. Now, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. Here is very important. Question can be asked, when the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act has been passed. Okay, this was the first major pollution control legislation in India. India ka first pollution control legislation. This was passed by Parliament in the year 1974. What was this act is dealing? The act is dealing in general and specific. This act is dealing with general and specific standard for discharge of various pollutants into the water bodies. Children, be careful what we are talking, because some words are new to you. So Government of India has passed an act in 1974. This act is basically to control water pollution. So this act is having general as well as specific standard relating to industry. Regarding what? Regarding discharge of various pollutants. See this word. Various pollutants into the water bodies. इंडस्ट्री अपना प्रोडक्शन होने के बाद बाकी जो मटेरियल्स आता है वो पानी में डंप करता है. ऐसा करना अलाउड नहीं है. That is the meaning of this. Discharge of various pollutants into the water bodies. Water में various item को push करना, it is not allowed. Please remember that. This act allows pollution control boards were created. Okay, इसकी वजह से pollution control bodies were created. You are aware that pollution control bodies are very powerful, no doubt at all. Pollution control boards were created. And this act provides penalties for non-compliance. This is also very important. Suppose that industries are not listening, then they will have to pay heavy fine. There is penalties for non-compliance. Non-compliance matlab the industry which are not following the rules. Okay, they will have to give very high penalties. This is little, rather new act. Be careful. Point number 1, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act was passed in which year? That is the first question. The answer is 1974. Okay. Second question is, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1974, okay, deals with dash. It deals with, this is the second one. This is the second
prevention.
One. Very good. Yeah, water, it is dealing with preventing the pollution. That means it is dealing with specific standard for the industry when they are throwing the pollutants into the water. Because आपको मालूम है इंडस्ट्री का कैरेक्टर ही वही है, हमको प्रॉफिट बनाने का, कंट्री गड्ढे में जाने दो. So that is not allowed. Okay, so if you are discharging pollutants into the water, then you will be punished. Okay, वो देखने के लिए किसको अपॉइंट कर दिया? पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड्स को. ये देखो, पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड्स वर अपॉइंटेड and they will be giving or they will be charging heavy penalties. This is the fourth one, heavy penalties on the industry. Next is Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1982. क्या डिफरेंस है मैडम? दोनों में एक ही जैसा दिखता है. एक ही जैसा नहीं है. ऊपर का वाटर, दिस इज एयर. ओके, Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1982. You can see these are all comparatively new one, not the old one. This act was passed to prevent and control air pollution. आपने देखा there are various types of pollution, water, air, okay, land, soil. So this act is dealing with controlling air pollution. It is a comprehensive act that makes the provision for setting up of central and state board, defining the authority of the board to limit the emission of pollutant. Children, what do you mean by that? Emission. आपने EVS में पढ़ा है. What is emission? ये देखो, emission मतलब releasing. So pollutant को release करने पर, okay, suppose that industries are releasing the pollutant, okay, in that case what will happen? This is a very comprehensive act that is preventing, or it is giving power to the central government and state government, because board have been set up by central government as well as state government, who is having the authority. देखो, defining the authority. ये central का power है या state का power है? Very clearly it will be defining, and the purpose is to control the emission of pollutant. Pollutant मतलब what is creating pollution, मतलब air में pollution create करने वाला substance को pollutant बुलाता है. Emission मतलब releasing. Okay, this act also gives the power of entry. देखो, pollution, Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act में the authorities है, central government का होने दो, state का होने दो. They can enter, they can inspect, they can take the sample, they can give the penalties, and even the power to declare pollution control area. So it's a powerful fact. कौन सा भी इंडस्ट्री में जा सकता है, चेक कर सकता है, चाहिए पर उधर का एक सम सैंपल ले सकता है, बाद में टेस्ट करेगा, टेस्ट करके पोल्यूटेंट है वो आइटम, ऐसा मालूम करने पर पूरा एरिया को ही पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल एरिया में डालेगा. So it is a very powerful act. We are quickly revising, children. First two acts we have discussed. Water Prevention and Control Act was passed in which year? Bolo.
1974.
Very good. 1974. Good, children. Then that was dealing with controlling the pollution by water. Okay. The other one is Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1982. Okay. So 1982 mein, what is happening is this act was passed to prevent and control the air pollution. I told you this is basically to control the air pollution. And here there is a provision for setting up of central and state board, defining the authority of the board to limit the emission of pollution. I told you central government and state government boards have been set up. Both the boards have their own very clear agenda. So whichever industry is creating air pollution, उधर जाकर इंडस्ट्री को चेक करने का, उसका सैंपल कलेक्ट करने का, ओके, then बीच बीच में inspection करना, then fines डालना, ये सब ये particular act का provision था. Then Environmental Protection Act 1986 is sub-objective में आएगा. It is according to me this seems to be new. You have not studied it before. Okay, 1986. The act was enacted the consequences of Bhopal gas tragedy of 1984. I hope all the children are at least remembering what is Bhopal gas tragedy. Okay, Bhopal में there was a MNC Union Carbonate. उसका plant से इतना poisonous gas release हुआ, so many people died, and even today so many people are affected. तो उसके बाद गवर्नमेंट को मालूम पड़ा it is high time environment को protect करने का है, और जो affected individual है वो लोगों को भी rehabilitate करने का है. It is so interesting for your information. Though this act was passed in 1984, basically on the background of Bhopal gas tragedy, even today the case is going on in the Supreme Court regarding the compensation to the people who died, because it's an MNC. Okay, 1984 mein Union Carbonate was in MNC. They got powerful lawyers. They are not ready to give the compensation. They left the country, and common man affected, he died or he suffered while inhaling the air. Okay, please remember that. These acts are all made by the government, no doubt. But the problem is this act will be always remaining in the paper. It should not be remaining in the paper. The reality means जो power दिया है वो power use करना चाहिए. So this act is given, ये देखो आप, vast power to central government and state government. ये देखिए, vast power to central government and to take messages with the respect of planning, execution of nationwide program for prevention and control and abatement of environmental pollution. Okay, A Act का objective क्या था children? Exclusively to protect the environment. And I'm sorry, this act में who is having the power? Central government, because environment comes under central government. So they have taken, or they are having the power to take the, to take action or to control pollution. उसके लिए you are having the right to plan, then execute nationwide program. किसके लिए? For the prevention of, pollution by the industry. Then Public Liability Insurance Act of 1991. सब नया है देखो. This act is providing for the public liability insurance for the purpose of, ये देखो, वो हाईलाइट करने के लिए पब्लिक लाइबिलिटी क्या करते हैं कभी कभी, for no reason it will harass you. This provides for public liability insurance for the purpose of providing immediate relief, देखो, to the person who is affected by accidents occurring while handling any hazardous substances. क्या लिखा है इसमें? इंश्योरेंस है, मतलब गवर्नमेंट प्रीमियम भरेगा. वो इंश्योरेंस किसको देगा? Especially to those people who are, subjected to accidents while working with those industry which are dealing with hazardous chemicals, dangerous chemical industry में काम करता है, and due to some reason accident हो गया, very sorry to state it, you lost your hand or a leg, you cannot work anymore. In that case, आपको immediate relief मिल जाएगा. And कौन देगा relief? Central government. That is the meaning of it. Again, I am repeating, listen carefully. If it is not clear, tell me. This act is providing for public liability insurance. सबसे ज़्यादा important point है ये government insurance देता है किसको? The person who suffered, I told you, heart या leg या whatever portion of the body or something happens that person, okay, वो लोगों के लिए how this is happening? By accident. काम करने का time हो गया, फिर government will give the compensation. The act make it compulsory for the business owner who is involved in handling hazardous substances has to take one or more insurance policy. So those are so many industries which are dealing with hazardous chemicals. ऐसा होने पर private industry भी 1 or 2 insurance policy लेकर रखना पड़ेगा. It is compulsory. Please remember that. देखो, why do they should take their insurance? This is for the people who are suffering from injury, then who is suffering from injury or damage the property which is costing in the case of, even it can lead to death. 3 ways people are getting affected. First way is injury, आपको लग जाएगा. Okay. Second is आपको property को लग जाएगा. Okay. Then third is even the death of the individual can happen. So children, there are 3 points. What are the 3 points? One is injury, take down somewhere rather than simply listening. First is injury. Second is damage to the environment. Okay. Then third is even death of the individual. Even this can also happen. Please remember. So Public Liability Insurance Act was passed in which year, बच्चे लोग?
1991.
Perfect. This act, ma'am, what is the content of this act? दिन रात गवर्नमेंट ने इमरजेंसी में एक्ट पास कर दिया, इसका मतलब क्या है? बोलो, जल्दी बोलने का आंसर.
किसी के साथ एक्सीडेंट हो जाता है उसके लिए ये एक्ट है.
हाँ, उसके लिए क्या करेगा बच्चे लोग? बराबर. किसको एक्सीडेंट हो गया? काम का टाइम पर. आप घर में गए नहीं तो वॉकिंग पर डिस्टेंस हो गया, एक्सीडेंट हो गया, nobody will protect. You are working, during your working hours you are met with accident because you are dealing with dangerous items in the factory, then it burst, you got injured. So ये act में ऐसा होने पर, okay, it is, you have to provide immediate relief. See that word over there, immediate relief. Children, what do you mean by relief? Relief means financial help. Because वो family का breadwinner होगा, वो family में कोई दूसरा कमाने के नहीं होगा, okay, and he himself is affected. So immediately the money has to be given to the affected family. Please remember that. आपने our one more point देखा, don't put everything on the central government. State private is also responsible. How private is responsible? Private has to pay the, 1 minute. आपने देखा कि how the private has to suffer or how the private has to be careful. If any person is injured, taking injury or die or damage the environment कर दिया, उसके लिए actions will be very strong enough. That's the meaning of it. So go through that. लीगो चैट में क्लियर हुआ या नहीं? हाँ, अटेंडेंस लिंक देता है, मैं मालूम है, तो रहा होने दो. I'm sharing the attendance. इधर तक let me see the chat box में. I cannot see even one message. Did you understand or not?
Yes, ma'am.
थैंक यू. ऐसा पढ़ना पड़ेगा. यस मैडम से नहीं होगा. कौन सा ईयर पास हो गया, कब पास हो गया, किसके ऊपर इफेक्ट, ऐसा पढ़ना पड़ेगा. प्लीज रिमेम्बर दैट. I am searching. किधर गया? Okay.